Right, so I'm back with another episode of Top 5 Mods. Yes, it's been a while, but I'm here to tell you that I'm not dead. I was abducted by my fanatical religious cult. They think that I'm not a true believer, which might be true. Anyways, I finally managed to escape. Now, you might be wondering why I'm half naked and there's a crashed vertebrate in the background. Well, it's complicated. But the important thing is that I'm back to show you top quality mods. Also, I really gotta plan out this retaliation cause it's kinda a bit too far this time. But in all seriousness though, I had some midterms and straight after that I went on a little trip to the US, and I can't exactly make these episodes on my phone. The screen is just too small. Now that I'm back, I should be able to do these episodes weekly again for the foreseeable future, but without further ado, let's get to the mods. Well, that's a bit better. It was getting kinda windy up there. So as you may remember, last time around I built my very own lovely shack with top quality shelves, and I even adopted some little kitty cats. Unfortunately, the place was overrun by a horde of Tinker Toms. So I need a new house, far away from the railroad. So I looked around and I found the beach cottage on the island. Now you might be wondering, why not old Longfellow's shack? Well, he can't keep his mouth shut for more than 5 seconds, so I went with this instead. It's located south-southwest of Far Harbor, and once inside you'll first notice the America pillow on the couch. The second thing you'll notice is that it's very dark. So you might want to consider bringing a flashlight. But it's got an aquarium. Off on the left it has an office with a radio hidden somewhere. I could not for the life of me get Travis to shut his mouth. But the office does have a fireplace, a pull and ball poster, a couch, and a stuffed desk. Down the hallway you got a kitchen along with a dining table. To the right of that a bathroom with a floating sponge, and opposite of that a bedroom with another pull and ball poster. But also a pokeball and a bed with another America pillow. But most importantly, Mr. House fan art. Finally, there is a messy attic with some power armor stations and some crafting stations. So overall, a pretty cool house. You just have to make sure that you bring enough batteries for your flashlight or some night vision goggles, whichever you prefer. But now that we've got a base of operations, it's time to start planning out this retaliation. I decided to finally stop being lazy and deal with this situation. We've got 2 groups to deal with, my fanatical cult that worships radiation located in the nuclear sub-pen, and the railroad. Some very clingy roommates with a habit of shooting up my cats and houses. Now, I don't really appreciate getting evicted nor getting abducted, so I thought long and hard on how to fight back, and I decided to fight fire with fire. What if I create my very own army of Tinker Tom clones to fight the army of Tinker Tom clones? So for that, we'll use Workshop Synth Production. So in order to produce your very own synth, you'll first have to break into the Institute and casually steal the synth fabrication schematics from the robotics department. With that knowledge, you can build the synth fabricator. Now this thing is quite big, so I decided to slam it down in Sanctuary. Then you need to power it up and hook it up to a terminal. In order to produce a synth, you need some bones. Now any bones will do. You also need a synth component and synth cell culture. These last 2 can be crafted at a chemistry station. Once you've got the required materials, you need to add them to the settlement workshop, and you're ready to make your very own synth army. But in order to create Tinker Toms, I first need Tinker Tom DNA. And since I don't feel like touching the dirty tissues in his room, I'll instead use the body scanner. So I casually snuck into the railroad headquarters and extracted some DNA. I don't think they saw me. But after that I could finally create my very own Tinker Tom army. Production is rather slow though, but after some time I assembled a mighty force of half-naked Tinker Toms. Preston looked a bit confused, but oh well. So now that we've got some backup, it's time to get suited up. For this great undertaking I need some proper armor, so I'll go with Liberty Power Armor. This power armor that makes you look just like a miniature version of Liberty Prime. In order to get this suit, you'll first have to venture into the glowing sea again. All the way south you'll find the Sentinel site. Go inside, open a blast door, jump down, and run all the way through the tunnel system past the ghouls. At the very end you'll find your very own suit of Liberty Prime power armor. So that's some pretty cool looking power armor, and it makes me fit right in with my new buddy, Mini Liberty Prime. Yeah, we're about to dish out some miniature democracy. Lastly, I need a gun, so what better for crowd control than a nice big shotgun? So we'll go with Catalyst AAS Shotgun. This is a pretty cool shotgun. To get your hands on it, you'll have to go to the Super Duper Mart. Just ignore the behemoth out front and venture inside. Go to the very back and pick up the AAS shotgun. Then run back out again past all the ghouls, only to find out that the ghoul hordes took out the behemoth somehow. Fortunately, you've got the perfect tool to deal with this situation. So this thing looks good, it fires standard shotgun shells, and you can customize a few things. You can add a bigger magazine, some different sights, and a longer barrel, but most importantly, you can add incendiary or explosive ammo. The reloading animation also fits, so this thing is just perfect for dismembering your enemies. And while we're on the topic of dismembering things with shotguns, we'll go with Live Dismemberment. Basically, this mod takes the Bloody Mess perk and cranks it up to 11. So to test this mod out, I decided to get some of my KataPUMBs out, since I had a few spare. Now there's a few different mod versions you can choose from, but with the bloodiest version, any crippled limb will be mutilated. So if you cripple a limb, it will fly out mid-combat, with your opponent still alive. And this also includes headshots. So yeah, if you enjoy limbs flying left, right, and center, this is the mod for you. So we're nearly there, but to be assured of victory, I need some superpowers. Speaking of superpowers, I'm pretty sure that metal just flew right through me. Anyways, last time I learned some dragon shouts, but I got a bit too intoxicated and I forgot most of them. So instead we'll go with Psyker powers. Now this is not magic, this is FEV, Forced Evolution Virus. To get infected with the good stuff, you'll first need to head to Vault 95. Now this vault is infested with gunners, on which you can try out your brand new shotgun. Now pretty far into the vault you'll find this room, and it contains 2 nodes and the FEV injector. And all that's left to do is just find a calm spot and inject yourself with the FEV. Now this will electrocute you, you'll turn blue, and you'll also stumble around for a bit. Just my type of drug, but once that's over with, meditate will be added to your aid section. And when you activate meditate, you'll meditate. And through meditation, you'll learn different powers. To try out my new powers, I decided to get some of my leftover KataPUMBs out again. Now the powers include a bunch of offensive powers, which will be put under the weapons tab, as well as defensive powers, which will be put under the aid tab. Offensive powers include fire, ice, and psionic pushes and blasts, all with different colors. And if you use all the 8 powers at the same time, it really looks like you're tripping balls. High as a kite, as they say. Quite literally. There's also teleportation, which allows you to aim at something and teleport straight to it. Unfortunately, you do have to go through a loading screen. So with my new shotgun, power armor, mini Liberty Prime, and half-naked KataPUMB Synth army, I was finally ready to face the 2 groups of fanatics that have been bugging me for weeks. Dragging me through radioactive goop, shooting up my cats. It was time for the reckoning. So I first went to assault the railroad and went straight to their headquarters. Unfortunately, my Synth army turned on me as soon as I walked through the front door. You can never trust a Synth, I freaking knew it. Nonetheless, my shotgun, spells, and infinite supply of stim packs came in really handy. Although Mini Liberty Prime did most of the work. In the end though, we came out on top. Looking at all the KataPUMB body parts, I felt it was only right to turn the railroad headquarters into a cat sanctuary. To honor all the cats that have fallen at the hands of the railroad, and the ones that Liberty Prime blew up that one time. Anyways, at least I won't have to buy any cat food for weeks. Well, that was one down, but I still had the Church of Adam to deal with. Fortunately, these lunatics built their settlement around a nuclear submarine, so I had a plan. Mini Liberty Prime and I stormed the front door, took out the sentries, and rushed inside. Mini Liberty Prime provided invaluable nuke support as I made my way up. Once I got inside the sub, it was a home stretch. I killed the pretend High Sparrow and used the nuclear launch key. I then proceeded to casually run the fuck out of there. Then the place blew sky high. Never take half measures. So yeah, we finally got that over with. They've been bugging me for weeks, days even. Unfortunately, Liberty Prime did not make it out in time. He died a hero. But anyways, genocide is no reason to skip out on the bonus mod of the week, so this week we've got RedRocketLauncher. So this mod adds in the RedRocketLauncher, which is a RedRocket launcher. But if you're still a bit confused, the gigantic letters on the side should help. So to test this thing out, I scraped together the last batch of my KataPUMB clones, seeing as they're only good for target practice. And this thing does a decent amount of damage, nothing too crazy, but it does look flashy. So if you want to run around in style, this might be the rocket launcher for you. Anyways, that was it for this week's mod. Some very solid mods in there yet again. I feel like we made some serious progress today. As I mentioned in the intro, I should be able to make these episodes weekly again for the foreseeable future, so see you next week, where maybe I'll encounter another group of fanatics. Who knows? So I'm actually just back from that little America holiday I mentioned in the intro. Literally went pretty much straight to creating this episode after I got back. So you better appreciate it. But yeah, I'm going to make a separate video about some of the highlights of that trip, but just a little teaser for you here. So I flew with Turkish Airlines because that was by far the cheapest flight I could find. And with Turkish Airlines you get a free layover in Istanbul, Atatürk Airport to be exact. So a mere 2 days before my first layover there, we had that terrorist attack on Atatürk Airport. Actually a tad bit less than 2 days even. And then on the way back home I had another layover at Atatürk Airport. And literally the same day we had that attempted coup d'etat. I missed that by literally a few hours. Otherwise I would have been grounded. So yeah, I'm quite literally dodging coup d'etats to bring you these episodes. Also, I'm starting to have my doubts about flying with Turkish Airlines. I mean, the airline itself was pretty good actually. I got some food. Like 3 times I had the entire road to myself so I could actually lay down. The flights themselves were pretty good. Just that layover seems to not be so good. Anytime I get to Istanbul, things just go to shit. it seems. So yeah, I thought it was pretty interesting. But yeah, that was the rambling for this week, so this was a pretty sophisticated episode, I gotta say. A lot of planning was involved here, jeez. But I felt like we made some real progress, so yeah. We'll see what happens next week. Maybe Tinker Tom will return. But until then,